podcast. You dig what I'm saying? Vulnerability, accountability, leadership, intentionality, and demand. All aspects of life, and we just here to talk about it.
And that's valid.
Valid. It's valid. Today we got
y'all.
Today we got a special guest in the building. Our first guest at that. So you get that special treatment today, Paige. I'm just saying, because you're the first one here. If you want to introduce yourself, that's all you. I ain't gonna do it for you.
Well, my name is Paige. I am a friend of Shelby's and Aubrey's. Thank you guys for having me on this podcast. I'm also a MSW major. I will have my master's in social work in like a month and 13 days, but who's counting?
Period.
I'm also an author. Make sure you go cop my book, Me Reigns. That's AMEREIGNS. You know, I gotta use this as my promotion, y'all. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. We got you. I'll put all their information, all of that in the description below. So if y'all want to go check that out, definitely go check that out and hit the link below. All right. So we're going to get into this validity check because today Shelby got one of them hoes. So I'm hyped today.
I got one for y'all. It's a little juicy, okay? It's just a little scenario, okay? So basically, Shorty was talking to this nigga, right? She's talking to the nigga, and so they're gonna know each other. They're not in a relationship, but they're definitely like, that's her little boo or whatever, you know, that's his little boo. They're chilling one day or whatever, and she gives him her password to her phone just so that he could get something out her phone real quick, right? And so she's thinking like, okay, I'm just giving him my password. Like, okay, he's not gonna go through my phone. Like, who's really going through phones? Like, niggas ain't going through phones. So
that's childish.
He goes through her phone though, but only because he knew he was doing some other shit on the side, and he had like a guilty conscience, right? So he goes through her phone, and you know they say if you're looking for something, you will find it. So he seen some shit in there that he didn't like, and he tried to bring it to her like, why the fuck are you doing all this? But she's mad because she's like, why the fuck you go through my phone? Like, you should never went through my phone. And in the back of his head, really, he knows he only went through her phone because he was doing his little shit on the side. So who's valid in this situation? Is he valid for being upset that he found something in her phone, or is she valid for being like, nigga, why the fuck did you go through my phone? Like, that's a violation of privacy.
I think she's valid. Yeah, she's valid for that. I just feel like first of all, like she gave him the passcode on some like trusted shit. Like, I trust you. You feel me? You're the one with the guilty conscience that you went through it, right? But at the same time, I just feel like, me personally, going through somebody's phone is like a violation of their privacy. You feel me? I ain't gonna hold you. I done did it. But, you know, you do something, you get mad over the littlest things. It really don't even be nothing that crazy, but just something. You just already know that you just found something when it's like you probably doing something 10 times worse. You feel me? So it's like, she's valid. Like, why'd you go through my phone in the first place? You feel me? Like, fuck it. Let me go through your phone. That's how I feel about it.
How you feel, Paige?
I definitely agree. I feel like she's absolutely valid, and it's 2020. He childish. Like, boy, don't go through my phone. Do you pay my motherfucking bill?
Period.
But that's childish, and I feel like, you know, women, like, men don't understand how smart women are. Like, we know what's happening before it even happens, so we know that that's your guilty conscience. Like, we know that you going through our stuff, and we smarter than y'all. So hello, reverse psychology. Like, I'm gonna just turn around and flip it on you. Like, well, what you doing in your phone? And then now you caught up and you feeling dumb. You could have just mind your goddamn business with your childish. You know what?
Okay, so I got another question to go off of that. How do y'all feel about stalking though? Just like in general, not like going through a phone, just like, you know, stalking a niggas or your bitch, stalking like her page, stalking her social media, seeing what the fuck she doing, where she double tapping at, you know, what's in her likes, you know what I'm saying? Who she following? Is she following that ex that you knew about that you feel like she should be following because she fucking with you now? Like, how y'all feel about that?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not one of those.
You're not one of those? I feel like
I mean, I'll see my boyfriend's like name pop up on somebody's like or something. It's usually like famous people. Ain't nobody that he ever gonna get. That's probably why I don't never
That's different.
And we like big booty bitches, and it be stuff that can make a person insecure. But I feel like I know like
you never gonna see this bitch.
This person, like it ain't like it's some average girl. And if it is like ever anybody local, I don't bite my tongue, so I always ask. I be like, who this? How you know her? How we know her? Oh, okay.
I mean, that's valid. I mean, at the same time, though, like I do that shit, so I like when people do it to me. Like, I want you to stalk my shit. I want you to see. I am like, I want you to assume what my tweet is about, so that we could talk about it just a little bit, so I could prove you wrong. Like, come on now, it's lyrics. You feel me? Because however you feeling, it's something that's making you feel that way, and it may not just be me. It may be you. Whatever's going on with you. It may be making you feel that type of way. So I want you to nigga, that's Drake. You feel me? That's not even me. But I be doing it too though, because I be wanting to see like what's popping with you, like where you at with it, like what you doing.
So you're a subtweeter. I'm a stalker.
Oh, I'm gonna stalk you too. What you talking about? Like I'm gonna go, but I don't know how to do it on like Instagram and stuff. But on Twitter, best believe I'm stalking your retweets. I want to see. I'm going as far as when you retweet something, I'm going to see who tweeted it, how you know them, and how long you've been following them, who else you know follows them. I want to know. I want to know it all. I'm tapped.
Knowing it all is what fucks it up, though. We don't need to know it all. Yeah. There's a reason why we do not know it all. We don't need to know it all, because then you just create problems, and then it's like you look crazy as hell bringing that to a person. Like, oh, I was going through your page and I seen this. Like, bitch, what is wrong with you? Why was you?
Nah, I'm on this new thing where you could go through my page with me. Like, we can go through it together. Like, how about that?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
You feel me? Because it's like
I feel like that's a trust builder. That's definitely a trust builder. Like, I'm going through this shit with you. What do I have to hide?
Yeah.
I'm it to you.
Only because I know.
Maybe I got trust issues, because I feel like it's manipulation. Like, they're not manipulative, so they'll try to be like, "Yo, babe, let's go my shit together." Next thing you know, Stacy, who's really his ex from high school, is really Stacy that he calling his cousin when he going through his phone. Like, no.
Oh, I feel that because I done did that before.
Oh, that's my cousin on my father's side. Niggas always want to use their cousin on their father's side. I don't think so. I don't trust it.
I be doing that, so that's how I know what's up with it. Like, let's do it together. But I think I'm on a new wave now. You feel me? Where it's like, sometimes I know some people don't be on their Twitter like that. You feel me? So it's like, if you don't be on Twitter like that, you don't see what I'm tweeting. So I could tweet something 3 days ago that you ain't never seen. So it's like, fine, let's go through my.
You really are not shit, and I just want you to know that from the bottom of my heart. I want you to stop. I want you to get help. I want you to get help.
I'm trying to be on a new wave. I'm trying to be on a new way.
Hey, that's just you found a new way to be sneaky.
Nuh-uh, because I'm not sneaky. You know what's going on right now. See, I'm actually in my feelings. You feel me? Shelby know what's up. I'm actually in my feelings. Like, bro, it's just like, I know you don't be on Twitter like that, so it's like, let's go through my Twitter together. You feel me? But you be doing that to anybody. Like, when somebody pops up on your Twitter, right? And then you be like, oh, who's that? And then you start scrolling down that shit. That's just
because I'm not on Twitter doesn't mean I'm not on Twitter, though.
Yeah, I'm not
I can't trust Shelby, though, because Shelby don't be posting shit on no type of social media, bro. She be on Instagram, but don't be on Instagram. She posted an Instagram story about 3 months ago, but she really be on that bitch every day, so she know what you posting. That's the sad part. That's why I feel bad for anybody who's with you. But just because she ain't post don't mean she's scrolling and digging. Or she don't know how to dig. Just because she don't use social media don't mean she don't know how to use it.
And that's the thing. Niggas be thinking they're slick. Niggas be thinking like, oh, she don't be on social media like that. Like, she not gonna see shit. Nigga, I seen it all. And you're not low. Okay? You're not low at all. Just because I don't be on here 24/7 like y'all niggas on here. When I get on there, I use it for what I need it for.
See, I'm scared of people like you. I'm scared. Then you be on Twitter, but you be on Twitter. It's like, on Twitter, you just be tweeting just to tweet. It don't even be nothing.
Mm-hmm. Just to pop out.
Just to pop up. I'm scared. And then your Facebook still got a picture from high school. So we don't even know what you be doing on your social media, because we don't know what your life is like. So it's scary. It's scary. I feel bad.
I like it like that.
I know. I respect it, but I'm scared for whoever's with you because don't think you could get away with some shit on social media, bro. She's watching. She's
Let them
watching
know.
from all eyes.
Let them motherfucking know.
That just means that the next person that she's serious about, if that's your bro, you gotta be like, yo, don't think you love me just because my sis, she gonna find you out.
Bro, I done already told him that I was gonna kill him. Straight up, I'll kill you. Don't play.
Oh my god. That's
Paige,
crazy. Right. You see my mama? Did you hear my mom out here yelling?
Kinda.
I'm here. I'm out there yelling. I'm back like I never left. Y'all know I had to get right on the hoops.
Bro, my mama stay out here screaming.
You scream black.
My video is frozen. Can y'all see me?
No.
Nah, I just seen black. You already know how we doing this COVID-19 style.
Oh,
this coronavirus shit's getting real.
Oh my gosh. It's so
You good, you good.
Right.
Bye, we back with it.
Bring out the hookah.
Let them know about your timeless hookah. Let them know. Is that what's going on with timeless hookah, bro? Come on, let them know something.
Well, right now, I wish I had on my shirt, but I'm representing my org instead. But, you know, Timeless Hookah is my hookah business. We do sell portable hookah cups. We do sell custom hookah jars and flavors. We have our house mixes. I will make sure to drop my product list for all supposed, all in the link below.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Just so y'all know, when this coronavirus shit is over, make sure y'all come to my party with y'all portable hookah because y'all not touching mine. That's just how I feel about it. We can't trust the coronavirus, bro.
Sure.
You feel me? We ain't no sharing.
Trip. Remember our road trip?
Yeah, see? So you can't even touch my shit, bro. You can't touch my shit.
I got my own.
Lit then.
All right, let's get into these questions for the topic.
Let's get into it. I bet so.
Questions?
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't get a debrief for the questions.
Nah, bro, because it's not because we really just typed the questions just so that we could have a flow of like how we gonna talk, like what we're gonna talk about, and just have a general idea. But sometimes we just ask shit off the script, like whatever follows afterwards. But it's just an idea to keep things flowing, and then like we don't tell nobody because it's really just us having a conversation. Like you don't need to know the questions because we really just chatting. You feel me? But our topic today is what we call comfortable with the uncomfortable. Right, and it's a discussion around mental health and how mental health is prioritized in the Black and Brown community. And so, like, my first question to y'all would be like, how important is mental health to you guys, and as well as like, was that something that was instilled in y'all from the beginning, like from like y'all parents or whatever down?
I feel like it's very important to me, but it wasn't important to me until I feel like I understood what it was. Like I feel like I always was aware of what was going on with myself, like mentally, but I didn't understand that there was like a such thing as like mental health. So when I like got more knowledgeable on mental health, it meant a lot more to me because it's like niggas be going through real life shit. And sometimes mental, when it's not right, when it's not clear, when you're not thinking about stuff clearly and you can't, like, you're just in a low state, like, that shit can literally be life or death or take control, like, of your life. So I just feel like it's very important to me. It wasn't instilled in me as, like, a child. I feel like just recently I started, like, getting more into it.
True. Paige, what about you?
I agree with you, Shelby. I feel the exact same way, literally. Mental health is definitely very important to me, not only just being a new social worker or about to be a new social worker, but mental health was kind of always important to me. Just growing up, I'm a people watcher, so I feel like I look at certain behaviors and patterns from people around me, like family members. I always kind of analyze people, and I'm like, nah, that's right. Like, you know, excuse me, like you got demons that you need to work on, like within, or, you know, mentally, like the way that you're acting out, or the way that certain things will blow up at like family situations, and like you said, in the Black and brown community especially, it's kind of like a hidden thing. It's always brushed under the rug. What happens at home stays in the home. I'm pretty sure that's how most of us was raised, and I agree with that. But if you're not talking about it at home, that's a problem. Like, it's like you could have 5 different family members in the house and everybody got their own closet full of skeletons and nobody knows, you know what I'm saying? What's out. What happens at home stays in the home. I just feel like as a family, you should all be unified. And I think that people's mental health would be much better if they had those outlets within those families. It's like what happens at home stays at home, and keep it to yourself too.
Yeah, that I definitely like agree with that. I feel like excuse me, with me, like mental health wasn't always like at the top priority, but I think like growing up, my mom had me when she was young. She wasn't super young, but she was still young, you feel me, like in her 20s. So it's like, how do you, if you don't really get told really what mental health is, sometimes you gotta figure it out, but sometimes that's not on your priority list to figure it out when you got X, Y, and Z happening in your life. And so it's a while for it to get to that point where like, okay, mental health is something that's serious. But I do think for me personally, like I feel like I picked it up kind of late. Like I always thought I was good because I was always that funny person who's always like masking everything, like just by cracking mad jokes or just like slaying people right? But that was like my cover up. But then as like I got into the social work thing, like I didn't want to be a social worker when I first went to school. That was not on my mind. I wanted to be a sports psychologist. Like, but then somebody was like, you don't want to do that. You're gonna be in school forever. If you try to do that, then you're gonna be in school forever. You're gonna be in debt, and you are gonna make some money. But there's not a lot of jobs out there and whatnot to do what you want to do, right? So then once I realized what a clinician was, it was like, okay, cool, like understand the importance of mental health and what that means, and especially self-care when it comes to mental health. Like I never really realized the importance of that until like now in the work that I do. It's like, okay, your mental health is important. Staying strong as far as like taking care of your body and yourself is important. So like I was late to the game for sure. I feel like it was always just like what, like you said, Paige, what happens at home stays at home, right? You can still talk to the people, like you get to talk to the people that you want to talk to. Like I talk to my friends about shit all the time, but it's just like, as far as talking in your family, like having to sit down and talking, that didn't really happen until now when like real shit is happening in this moment where it's like you're getting impacted by it by the same time as I'm getting impacted by it in a sense.
Yeah. I feel like when I first became aware of like my own mental health, somebody like said it to me in like a way where they was like, yo, you're tripping, like something's wrong with you. And it really made me sit back and think like, bro, is something like wrong with me? Not like it's like am I a crazy person, but like I really need to sit back and like reflect on myself, like what's going on with me, because like you just start acting crazy, and like you don't it just be built up emotions from stuff that you didn't deal with.
Yeah,
that's gonna say that and to piggyback off of what y'all both said, because I think Shelby and I both Libras, and I think that we are people who kind of just let a lot pile up, but like you said, or you could talk to who you want to talk to. You could talk to your friends, but for me personally, like even growing up, I always felt that I have a young mom too. My mom had me at 17, so she did have me pretty young. And as a teenage mom, I just had a different upbringing. I had a single mother, like I had a stepdad and everything like that. But my friends around me, like everybody had both their parents, so that was just a different dynamic. And sometimes there were things that I couldn't talk to them about, or that I didn't want to talk to them about because I didn't want them looking at me a certain type of way. Like I don't like to feel pitied, or so I also think that that's something that makes people suppress their feelings. But I mean, it's a matter of really getting to know people, and are the people that you around genuine? Because there are genuine people that no matter what differences y'all have in y'all background, you can talk to them about anything, and they're gonna try to listen and give you their best advice. But then there's those people who will look at you differently if you reveal certain things. So
yeah.
Will you guys prioritize? Will you guys like make mental health a priority when you have children? Like, will that be something that you guys discuss with your kids when you have kids? And how young will you start having those like discussions with them?
Yeah, I think for sure. I think I see it more now with having 2 little sisters. Like, making sure that my dad and my stepmom know like mental health is super important, right? And just like some of the stuff I feel like things are like my sister's lives are different than mine, right? So some of the things, like you said, Paige, that goes back to what Paige said. Like we grew up in single parent homes versus my little sisters have both their parents there, but at the same time they can go through different stuff. So I think with my dad and my stepmom, just letting them know like to prioritize mental health, you know what I mean? And me too, like as an older sister and them being so young right now, like I think even now, like having the healthy coping skills right now, so that when Olivia does cry, okay, what do you do to make yourself feel better? Although she's super young, but at the same time, it's like it could be something so small as drawing or coloring or going outside, whatever that little case is. Like, okay, you just cried your heart out, go outside and play. Like, do something where you can keep yourself active and you keep yourself going. So I think, I mean, over time, I'll learn from them and how it influences them. And then when I do have kids of my own, I will probably just take what I learned from helping them understand it. Since they're so young right now, like I'll just take from them and just like keep it pushing. Because I don't know when I'm gonna have kids. You feel me? I get to make that decision. Thank God.
That's very true.
It's definitely you already know, Shelby. It's definitely something that I'm gonna instill in my children. And I mean, you know, I feel like me being aware of mental health and just so aware of my own you know, thoughts and feelings and like working on it and just looking at like the patterns of my family, like those are patterns that I want to break. So I definitely think that I know that I'm going to be vocal about mental health with my children, but I feel like, you know, I'm going to do my best to raise them in the right way. And I think as a social worker, I would be able to kind of look for certain cues. So at whatever age I feel that it's coming out, because mental health can happen in, you know, young as 2, 3 years old, 3, 4,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you never know what's going on with your child, no matter like how young they are. So I'm already, like, I have a stepson, so I'm always attentive to like the littlest things. Like he could go sit in the corner for 5 minutes because like me and my boyfriend are paying attention to him, and I'm like, what's going on? Like somebody touching him at home, like I'm on it. So I'm just kind of crazy about it, I guess, because of my profession, but I'm definitely gonna make sure my kids are aware of their feelings.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, real quick, I was just gonna say about like your profession. Like the both of us are in the same profession, right? So it's like that makes you more attentive to things that are going on, and like it can really drive you nuts. Like the more you think about it, like I told Shelby this. Like once her sister lost somebody to homicide, it's like, okay, this is what happens to me, so I don't want that to happen to her. You feel me? And like you could drive yourself crazy just thinking of all these different things that can happen in all these different scenarios. It's like you start making up these stories in your head that aren't really true, which is like I pay more attention. Like I'm telling Shelby, like, well, is she sleeping? Is she like I'm probably going crazy just because I know constantly, just from not even from school, just being in this field for this amount of time, like what those signs look like and all how I'm going, like how I'm thinking about things. And then I think about it myself, like, damn, do I got PTSD? Like what's going on with me? You feel me? Like I start thinking like that when it's like, nah, I probably just got some vicarious trauma. But then again, it's like, nah, I'm really having these type of symptoms.
Y'all be self-diagnosing yourself.
Oh yeah. And then I had to stir away from that because I don't like diagnosing, period. So it's like, if I don't like diagnosing, period, why do I keep diagnosing myself? But then it's like, the more I think about things that are happening, like I used to have crazy dreams. Like the more I think about things that happen, okay, I'm having these dreams. What am I doing at night that's probably making me have these dreams? I was taking a lot of ZQL at the time because I could not sleep, right? So then me taking ZQL was fucking up my dreams. It was really fucking with my dreams. So then it's like, okay, let me stop taking the ZQL. But then you can't sleep at night because you're taking the ZQL. So then I had to figure out what was best for me to kind of like my self-care. What's really best for me in order for me to get to sleep, which was going to the gym, like that.
What's a ZQL, nigga? You was addicted?
Shit, I don't know. I think shit. I used to tell people like, bro, I'm off the ZQL. Like you go to sleep like nothing. But I kid you not, I could not sleep. I was like, it would be like I'll go to sleep, I'll wake up, I'll take melatonin. I started off taking off melatonin. I'll go to sleep, I'll sleep for like 3 hours, then I'll get up and I'll just be sitting there just like, all right, like when this sun about to come up, cause I'm ready to go. But I only sleep for like 2-3 hours. It's the craziest thing ever. That's why I was like, I think I got PTSD.
Paige, you don't be
But then I
crazy.
had to chill out. You know, I don't mean to scare you, Paige.
Profession will definitely like just run your mind like
Mm-hmm.
wild. It really will. And I know that I have vicarious trauma. I'm going to have vicarious trauma when I'm really like deep into this field. But the thing that I love most about this profession is, like you said, like this is really not anything that I learned in school or things that I'm too much learning in school. Like you really get your real lessons through being in the field, like being directly there with those clients, learning their, you know, their cases and making those clinical assessments and doing those interventions. Like that's how I feel like I've learned my entire course of being in my program. Like school definitely taught me, you know, the logistics of things, but the real life experiences and putting it into practice happens when you're out in the field.
For a fact.
I like the hands-on part of it.
For a fact. Shelby, what would you like instill this in your kids in the long run? And how would you instill it? I would say too, like how would you instill it in your sisters now? Especially because they're older and things are happening while they're still kind of like, I guess, growing, you know?
Well, when I do have kids, I'll start with that. I'll just say, I feel like as soon as they start talking, because I feel like as soon, like
And they're
younger.
going to say, Mama, you're going to be like, what?
Well,
no, Mama,
I just feel like kids, they're becoming younger and younger, where you see kids who are 6 years old committing suicide, and it's just like you don't know what, like Paige said, you don't know what your kids are dealing with. So as soon as the motherfuckers can get a sentence out, yes, I'm having that conversation with them, and it doesn't have to be on that deep of a level, but just saying like, oh, how are you feeling? You know, it's all about open communication and having, I feel like, conversations with your children, and where they feel comfortable enough to come to you when they're dealing with that type of stuff. My sisters, I feel like now I just try to, because they're like at an age, you know, when you're a teenager, you don't, even though I'm like the cool, like the big sister, like they don't tell, I know they don't tell me everything, but they tell me stuff. And I just know I wasn't telling my siblings everything when I was going through it. So there's always going to be stuff that they keep to themselves, but always just checking on them and making sure they're okay. Having those conversations with them, they be thinking that I'm just talking to them, just bullshit and like, oh my gosh, why don't you shut up? Like, no, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with you. What's going on? Like, what's going on in life? Like, how are you guys doing? How's school? How's the little boy you was on FaceTime with the other day? Like, what's going on? Because if you don't have those conversations with them, you're not going to know anything if you're just completely oblivious to what's going on in their lives, because everyone is going through different shit, even though they're teeny weeny teenagers.
Yeah, that's big facts. I be dealing with people that go through the craziest things at the youngest age, and that's just like, I couldn't even imagine. Like, you're that young. How do you tell, like, just from the profession that I have, like, you're so young. I had to deal with a kid who lost his brother and his father to homicide, right? So now he's at a funeral looking at his brother and his father. Like, how do you tell school what you just went through? How do you tell your friends what you just went through who don't really understand it? But like, school to me is the number one thing, because it's like nowadays kids can't say like, you don't understand, I just lost somebody like a few days ago, right? Because some people just be like, okay, but you still got to come to school. You know what I mean? When they don't understand how that affects people in the work that they're doing. Like, how are you going to perform at your best when in the back of your head you're thinking about the worst thing that's ever happened to you at this moment? Like, that's the
Yeah,
craziest thing right now.
I feel like being there for someone can be so much for them. Like you said, when my sister lost someone to homicide, like I wanted to be there for her however I could be. Like, I didn't really know what to say. I didn't know what to do, but I knew if I was there for her and I supported her throughout the whole thing, like it would make her feel better. And I was so surprised, like when I went to her funeral with her, that there were so many kids there without like, so with like without a support system. Like, I mean, they had their friends there with them, but it's like, I don't know, I was just surprised not to see as much support or backing up for them, because it's like, damn, they got to go through that all by themselves. That's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. Yeah. That's big facts.
I know I'm a guest, but I got a question. I thought of something while Shelly was speaking.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. This I think affects mental health. But how do you guys feel if you were to have a son? Like, how are you gonna deal with them and like helping them to feel okay with expressing their emotions? Like, do you feel like it's okay for boys to cry? Or would you like kind of shun your child for that? And how do you feel about the term like, oh, only girls cry, or you acting like a girl? Because I think that affects little boys.
Oh
For
yeah,
sure.
it does. I see that like just in the work that I do, like working with so many different kids. They always say that like, yo, I just can't even cry no more tears. When it's like you probably ain't even cry enough tears. You know what I mean? Like, and so I feel like when people instill that in their sons, like men don't cry, right? Especially when they say men do not cry. Like, first of all, what is your definition of a man? You feel me? Like, what are your characteristics of a man? Because if you were a man, there's a potential that you may be in touch with your emotions and what's going on in your life, right? So if you instill that in a teenager or a young or a kid, and they grow up thinking men don't cry, are they really going to grow up and be a man? Until they figure out that it's okay for me to be in touch with what's going on to me, which can happen years down the line, right? You could be 50 and be like, oh, it's okay to cry right now. You feel me? Or like, I just see that happening a lot where men go through all this trauma, especially being a black man in America. Like, that can be traumatizing when you see everything that's going on. And you mean to tell me, like, and if you're petrified or if you're scared, you can't just cry. Like, we cry, right? If I'm angry, I'm crying. Like, if I'm angry to the point where like I cannot control it, I'm crying. But it's just a sense of relief. And so why not say it's okay to cry? Like, that's a sense of relief. But when the crying is done, then you need to X, Y, and Z, like execute. Like, then think about it in that way. But don't say men don't cry. You feel me? It's like men. What is a man? I would say that. Like, when you hear somebody say men don't cry, I'd be like, okay, so then what is a man? You know?
I feel like telling young boys that men don't cry is like setting them up. It's just like damaging them because now they feel like, okay, I have to hold every single thing that I go through, being, especially like you said, a black man. I have to hold all of that stuff in. I have to hold all that anger in. I can't, you can't cry. You can't, when they lash out and they punch somebody, they hurt somebody, like they could go to jail. Then it's like they lose their whole life to the system. It's like you're damaging their mind to feel like they can't express themselves emotionally, and they end up taking out all of that emotion, all that frustration, all that anger, all that hurt, all that stuff that they're going through, and they take it out somewhere else, and then that fucks up their life in a whole nother place. So it's like telling them they can't. I just feel like you said, what is the definition of a man? Because you should be in touch with your emotions. You should be able to express that. And I feel like it's very unhealthy to not be able to express your emotions, because you're going to get in relationships with people, whether it be friendships, um, like physical relationships where it's your spouse or whatever, and you're not going to be able to communicate how you're feeling in those situations, and it's just going to fuck up those relationships. Like, it's just
Yeah.
not healthy to the growth of a person in general. That's like, why would you tell a girl she can't cry?
Yeah.
Why we not telling little girls they can't cry? Like, I don't know.
And it's like you start thinking like, I was about to say, like, people don't understand. I feel like men start thinking people like, you don't understand what I'm going through. You've never even said what you're going through because you think you're supposed to keep it to yourself. So how would you know if I understand or not what you're going through? You feel me? Like,
Yeah.
I can only imagine what you're going through. But like, for instance, like my friend going to jail, right? He's like, don't cry, right? I cried when I found out what happened, but he's like, don't cry. Like, you can't imagine what I'm going through. I can't, but I know what I'm going through, knowing that you're there and what you could possibly be going through. So now I cry for you. You feel me? Like, I'm feeling uneasy throughout the week because you're not calling, because I feel what you feel in a sense, just in a different way, right? But the way that he expresses it is just like, no, I'm good. I'm good. How are you good if you're probably in the worst position right now, right? When if I have the capabilities to make sure that you good, then I'm going to make sure that you actually are good instead of you just telling me I'm good. You feel me? But
Yeah,
it's
and
like a cover up.
just want to talk about you when it's like, nigga, I don't want to talk about myself. Like, we're going through so much right now. Like, vent, let it out. Like
it's okay. It's okay. You feel me? Like, and we've had these talks before, so I understand you're in a different predicament now. But if we've had these talks before, don't think because you're in a different predicament we can't have them anymore, or because you're around 10,000 other men you can't have those conversations anymore. Like, who cares who those 10,000 other men are? As long as you're the man that you say you are, it shouldn't matter. You know?
how you feel, Paige? You feel like how you feel about people telling little boys that men don't cry?
I definitely feel like y'all hit all the points. I agree with everything that y'all said. I don't believe that, that's something that little boys should be told, because I feel like it causes them to start like putting up their building blocks, and they're building this hard exterior that only leads to anxiety in the end, because all, like you said, like eventually in life they're going to realize, okay, it is okay to cry, but are you going to realize that at that point you lost the love of your life? You can't get it back because you couldn't, like you said, Shelby, express those emotions and feel for that woman the way that she needed you to feel for her. Like, have you lost out on that? Have you lost out on a relationship with your children, even because you're so emotionally disconnected and you don't even realize that you're mirroring your feelings and your emotions onto this child that has nothing to do with what you were put through or what you went through? But like you said, you're not saying what it is that you went through. And this is not an open conversation for everybody. So many people probably are confused about their feelings and like wanting to cry or crying alone in the shower, but feeling like, I gotta put on a tough act. And I mean, Shelby, we done mess with some hood dudes. Like, when a guy, like, I feel like that's, really hard and like has a tough exterior, and like they from the streets, they grew up in the streets, like they have a hard background, like you can literally see them breaking. Like, maybe it's just me, like I can read people, but you can watch a man who just really wants to explode, like he wants to cry, but you can tell that all his life, like he's been taught, no, that's wrong, like you can't do that.
They don't even know what to say. They don't even know what to say. They don't even know what words to say.
Their body language changes. It's like they tense up. It's literally like, I don't know what that Marvel character is, but like he turns into a rock. Like, that's what I feel like guys do.
The Hulk.
Activity with their emotions. Like, they just shell up, and then it's like, nah, like no. And then you can really try to get a man to tap into their emotions, but if they're not there on a mental, I believe, and a spiritual level, I think you're never gonna get them to like see things from your side. Like, some people are, I don't want to call it ignorant, but it is a little ignorant to like emotions and expressing your emotions. And I mean, they even convince themselves that like when a woman or family members or something express their emotions around them, it's like, nah, you bugging. Like, I don't know how you see things that way. Like, I don't see things that way. Men are.
Yeah, I definitely I see it. I see it in women sometimes too, though. It's like women are so tainted by like the people that they've been with in the past in such like a mental way, where like don't get me wrong, I'm probably just as tainted in a mental way, but like your mental starts
hard.
Exactly, you're emotionally scarred, so the way that you do things moving forward is all because of your emotional scar. You feel me? So like all because of the way that your mental thinks. You know what I mean? Like, I can't trust easily, right? I can't express how I feel because I felt like every time I've expressed how I felt, somebody just does not care. But then again, they probably don't know how to care for my needs as far as how I'm actually feeling because they've never dealt with that neither. So it's like mental health is like a ripple effect. You feel me? Where I think now I'm getting to the stage where I can like acknowledge it. For instance, I got into a situation where somebody ignored me. Ignoring me is the most annoying, not even annoying, it's the most like damaging thing to me in America. Like, I'm over exaggerating, but I really do not like being ignored. I feel like you give up quick, you don't even care anymore, and you're being very selfish when you ignore me when I probably didn't even say anything that crazy, right? But then I had to think, like, I've never even shared to you how ignoring me makes me feel. So who am I to blow up at you and be like, oh, this is what you want to do? Because I probably would have been on some petty shit if it was me a few years ago. But like, oh, this is what you want to do? You want to ignore me? Start blowing up your phone, going crazy. But like, who am I to do that if I've never even expressed how I felt about why ignoring me is so like damaging? You know what I mean? So I think the more you are aware of what's going on in your mental and how your past influences you and the way that you are, it's like you can see a different person instantly.
You are preaching, because I feel like I have that issue. Like it's getting magnified now, because it's like I've been in situations where, like, the nigga who I was messing with, like Paige said, we be fucking with hood niggas. So they be all fucked up in the head. And like I've been in situations where they just cannot like express themselves. Like they just cannot say what it is that's on their mind. They can't say what they're feeling. They cannot find the words to describe what it is that they're feeling. And then I've been in situations where I can openly say how I feel, and then it's received and we talk about it. But it's just like at the end of the day, I'm emotionally scarred and I still don't trust nothing. Like I just don't trust it, like because of those past situations where, and sometimes I don't even want to come to you and tell you how I'm feeling, like you said, because of the past. But how do you work through that? Like how do you say, okay, this is a new person, they've shown me something completely different, I know what I went through previously, but like it's just really difficult to move forward and like see this person in a different light because I'm emotionally scarred. Like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
I feel like for me, I can definitely say I would claim 3 solid relationships like in my life. I definitely like talk to more guys, but I would claim 3 solid relationships in my life, and I feel like the 3rd solid relationship is the one that I'm in at this moment, and I have taken the like items from just little points from like my very first relationship that I felt like was serious and the person that I loved, and my last relationship, and just taking those points that I've made a vow to myself, like you have to fix this and work on this with this person. And like for me personally, my boyfriend right now, like I 3 months ago or so, I'm in therapy, so I took him to therapy with me, and his whole just persona in therapy and just the way that he fed like energy in my session or whatever. My following session, my therapist told me like he's emotionally unavailable. Like he's not emotionally available for you, and he's 28, so he may never be, but that's up to you, kind of like if you want to work through that and you want to stay through that. And she was just kind of telling me like, as an African American woman, we kind of grow up in this mindset of like, well, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. Like my relationship is not the worst just because our communication is not what I want it to be. And like for my boyfriend, he can get upset about something and he doesn't want to talk about it. He needs to like retreat to his own section, have his little hour to himself, but then he wants to come back and everything's fine. I can't do that. I have to talk about I have to talk about it. I have to talk about it. It does not have to be resolved. We don't have to see eye to eye, but I need you to understand why I feel the way I feel, and I want you to understand why. I mean, I want to understand why you feel the way you feel, but I feel like it also boils down to not only like these men being raised and told like, don't cry and things like that, but people go through silent battles, and the people around them who should be protecting them and loving them, and the people who they feel like they love the most, their mothers, their grandmothers, their fathers, their uncles, whatever, they may not pick up on those things. So I've experienced like in my relationships that I feel like I have so much love to give, and I'm so aware of like myself and my mental health and like the importance of mental health and just expressing emotions that sometimes I push men away because of that, like just of trying to get them to express themselves. Because, and I've been told like, my mom ain't asked me how, my mom don't care this much about me. Like, why do you care? Like, you just a female, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've literally been told that by guys. Like, why do you care so much about me? Like, my mom hasn't even shown this to me. My sister hasn't even shown this to me. Like, the women in their lives who are supposed to really show them the love and care that they were supposed to receive didn't give it to them. So they don't know how to receive it from us, like good women. And I just feel like I know for myself, and like even Shelby, I can speak for Shelby, like all my friends that I feel like, my ride or dies, like Shelby, Shamia, we're good women, like we're good people, and I just feel like the guys that we choose or the guys that want us, like they're not ready for us. Like they can't receive us in in our whole being. Like I definitely have a great boyfriend. Like he's dope, but he still got to do some catching up to really receive all that I have to offer, because I be throwing it at him, but he don't catch it.
Well, I commend you on that process. You feel me? Like it takes a lot to like actually sit down and prepare, and not even prepare yourself, but like acknowledge what's going on and be willing to go through that process with somebody, because it really takes a strong person to go through that process with somebody else. So I hope that he understands that, like, yeah, you have somebody that's willing to go through the ringer with you. You can't find that everywhere. But I know you mentioned that you go to therapy now. So my question to you would be like how do you feel like mental health is kind of stigmatized as far as specifically going to therapy in the Black and brown community? Like I know what it is like for me.
I hate the stigma surrounded around our community in therapy. Like I feel like everybody needs therapy. I feel that there shouldn't be enough therapists in the world for as many of us that need therapy. Honestly, like that's how many of us need therapy. And I just think that it's a negative like connotation surrounded around therapy because of mental health. When you hear mental health, you're not thinking about anxiety, depression, or like self-esteem issues. Like you're not thinking about the minuscule things. You're automatically jump into schizophrenia, bipolar, like different personality disorders. People don't
like
even
the
understand
big stuff.
Yeah, people don't understand that like substance abuse is a mental health disorder. Gambling is a mental health disorder. Sex addiction is a mental health disorder. These are all mental health disorders. It's just that they put it under one large umbrella. People don't want to educate themselves and haven't been educated about this. So they just look at therapy like, oh, therapy is for crazy people, or it goes back to that, what happens at home stays at home. I think therapy also, people have this or African American people, I feel like in our community, we don't see too many Black therapists. I personally have a Black therapist and I love it. Like I searched for a Black therapist. My therapist had to be Black. Just for me, because I felt like she would be able to be more relatable. But people are not gonna go that far. They're gonna look for a therapist or get referred to a therapist who is an older white male or female, and they're gonna be like, you can't understand that I was hearing gunshots outside my window at 5 years old. You can't understand that I watched my uncle die on the pavement. You can't understand that my sister was raped by my grandfather. You can't understand all of it. And it's not to say that these different cultures and communities don't go through these same issues, because by all means, I feel like every other culture has way more issues than us, but ours are just so magnified because we are the minority. And people just have to become more aware of that. It's okay to talk about, what you went through, and it's possible to get past it. Like, I feel like people hold on to things and they don't even realize it. Like, your cousin Mookie died when he was 13 years old. Now you're 33 and you still traumatized by it, but you can't even realize because you haven't said anything since you were 13.
Yep. I agree. Shelby, you have anything to add?
I had to say something, but I forgot what I had to say.
I think for me, I think you're absolutely right. I think especially for someone being in the process of, I think I shelter myself from wanting to find a therapist right now. Although I know that I absolutely need it, like to the point where like it scares my mom and dad, right? Because they don't even know what to do, because everything that I go through, to them, it's normalized, right? So like them going to a crazy amount of funerals, them hearing the gunshots, or them dealing with people who have been exposed to community violence, like they've been in it, so they don't know how to kind of help me through this time. And so it scares them, like how can I help you as being a parent, as wanting to help your kid, and you can't help them? It's like, what do you do? So then therapy is always a discussion, like, well, we need to find therapy. This is the first time I've ever seen my dad like sit down and send me a whole list. No, he didn't even send it to me. He sent it to my mom, a whole list of therapists. The first time I've ever seen him do anything that's so fast. It was like we had a conversation, we hung up, he called my mom instantly. Like, never seen anything like it before, honestly, in my whole 23 years of living. But as far as me personally looking for one, it's like I push it to the border, because being in this profession, I always think about like, I don't want to sit in a session and somebody always asking, well, how does that make you feel? Or do you want to do psychodynamic therapy today? Like, I just know what I would want in a clinician. I'm being so picky on it right now, where it's like you said, like, you having a Black therapist is something that you look for. Like, I'm looking for that too. And it's like, who do I know, or who can I find that's gonna have everything that I absolutely want? A Black therapist, trauma informed, potentially from the Boston area, or if not from the Boston area, an area where they've been impacted by community violence in some way. Like, it's just so, the list goes on who you want, and you can't find it, which is why I think, like, we're unique. Having Black individuals who were impacted by the same thing as our clients were impacted by is absolutely unique, because you cannot find it. Like, I can't find it. So if I can't find it, it's like, I can only imagine what other people are going through. You know what I mean?
Psychology today, that's how I found my therapist. You could really narrow it down as specifically as your insurance. And I put in, my zip code. I put in trauma informed as well. I put in like PTSD because, like Shelby said, I've been self-diagnosing. So I knew the things that I needed to work on. But like, we mentioned earlier in the conversation about vicarious trauma, and like, for whoever is watching this and doesn't know or understand what vicarious trauma is, it's trauma that, you can receive just from the stories that you hear from the clients that you were working with or dealing with. And I think that it's so important. You cannot be a clinician or be a therapist and not receive therapy. I think that it's very important, because you don't want to counter transfer your feelings or emotions. If something comes up in a session with a client, it could be a new client, and maybe they were molested, and that's something that triggers you, but it's something that you haven't had to address because it was so long ago. Like, we are getting older. Like, I wake up every day and I thank God for waking up, but I'm just like, damn, I'm old. Like, I'm getting old. Like, I wake up next to my man, damn, I really with a nigga. Like, oh my God, it's just stressing my mind out. It really does. Like, every day that I'm in, like, I'm cooking dinner, I'm just doing stuff. I'm like, yo, where did my childhood go? Like, take me back. Like, I need to do some things over. I need to talk about some more things. Like, I should have told my mom this when this happened. Like, I should have did this. Like, there's just so many things that, like, I wish I would have done or I could have done that didn't happen. And I feel like that's where I'm addressing it in therapy. Like, in therapy, I would say the biggest lesson that I've had since being in therapy is boundaries. Like, I see my growth with every relationship that I have because I set boundaries now. I feel like before I kind of used to be a person that just let things fall by the wayside, and like, I would definitely speak my mind, but it was just like, okay, you're not going to understand where I'm coming from. I'm not even going to waste my time. But no, I'm going to set a boundary because I'm not okay with this. So this is what we have to address. Even when it comes down to my mom, like, having a single mom, we are like this. But as I get older, there's those boundaries that need to be set in place that, like, okay, we are mother and daughter. Like, we're not like the same person. Like, I feel like my mom kind of had me by a little puppet string for a while. Like, this is what I want you to do. You got to go to school. You got to do this. You got, like, I always felt like I have to because my mom said so. Like, no, I'm grown. I take care of myself. I can make my own decisions. I don't have to call my mom to make my doctor's appointment anymore. Like,
that kills me though. I ain't gonna hold you. Not having my mom call to make my doctor's appointment. I be still trying.
But that's how I though, because I allow her to do that. She feels that she has an opening when it comes to everything.
It's also different for you guys too, because you guys are your mom's only children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's a whole nother dynamic. But personally, I just feel like, I don't know. There was a point in time where I wanted to go to therapy, but then I don't know. I never followed through on it. And then I just started thinking, like you said, what happens in the home stays in the home. And I just feel like I know myself, and I have to let it all out. And I just don't feel comfortable, like, telling a complete stranger everything. Like, everything, because that's how else are you going to receive the therapy that you really need, unless you tell them everything, you lay it all out. I feel like if you leave stuff out, you're what's the point of going? Because you're not receiving the full treatment that you're there for. So I'm just not comfortable with telling. I don't know. It would have to be the right person, like you said. Like they would have to be able to relate to me. But even then, it's like I don't know. I got trust issues.
Yeah, even the scary part is like you have to try to find the right person. It's like if I have to, first of all, I have to take the step to find you, then I have to take the step to go to the first meeting, and then if I don't like what I see on the first meeting, I have to start over again. So then that feeling of having to start over again, it's like, all right, now I gotta explain again everything that not even everything I've been through, but now I gotta explain why I'm here again to somebody else. Like it's that scary feeling. I think that's what petrifies me too, Shelby. Like I don't want to explain everything that I need help on. First of all, because I don't even know everything I need help on. Second of all, because I don't want to have to explain it twice. Like, if I find the right person, you need to be the right person the first time because I don't want to do it again. And I'm scared to do it again because I just don't know who is going to be helpful. Like,
Yeah. I feel like instead of the going to therapy, I just started writing a lot more. Like writing really helps me just get all my feelings out without having to say it to someone, but just getting it out. And then when you look back and you can reflect and like read what it is you was going through, it's like, wow, you can see how far you've come from that moment in time and you was feeling that way. And it's like, okay, even like 3 weeks later, it's like, wow, that's what that's what I was feeling 3 weeks ago. But Paige, did you like your therapist like the first time you went, like that's who you stuck with?
Yeah, I really lucked up. So I was looking on psychology today. I found a few therapists. I got a few numbers. I called a few of them. I had happened to get my therapist now. I got her voicemail. I left the voicemail. She called me back like within a few hours. And when she was just kind of asking me like basic information and, asking me why I wanted to go to therapy, like I briefly, just explained to her because I'm in school and I feel like, I want to address things before I really get out into the field. Like that was my biggest thing. I didn't really go into like what happened in my lifetime that I wanted to address. But she told me her openings, and she's like, "Oh, I have an opening on Tuesday." Or she asked me my availability. I'm sorry, and she's like, "Okay, I have an opening this Tuesday or whatever time. I have an opening, Wednesday, and then next Thursday." And I asked for next Thursday, and she was like, "Why not?" Like I called on a Monday, and she was like, "Why not tomorrow?" And I was like, and she's like, "Well, you said you're available on Tuesday, so why not tomorrow?" And so for me, I was like, "Okay, my push," because I'm like, "Okay, she already kind of." She's feeling me out. Like she knows, because I was skeptical like you guys. Like I don't want to waste my time. This is a one-shot deal. Like if I go in there and it's not it, I don't know. I'm not doing this. So that definitely attracted me, to go into that appointment that she pushed me to like take the earliest appointment. And so when I did, it could have just been my therapist, honestly, but she just really gave me that floor to like literally let everything out, Shelby. Like, and as I was letting everything out, like she wrote it down, but me not knowing her and knowing that she has absolutely no bias. She doesn't know anyone else around me. She doesn't know any of the people that I'm talking about that I'm naming. And whether she can relate or not, I'm not gonna know. Like I feel when, sometimes you talk to your friends, you could be hitting your friend up to talk about, you and what you're going through, and somehow, some way, it turns into what that person is going through, or oh, I've been through the same thing, and like I know I'm a person that I do that all the time. Like, girl, don't worry about it. I've been through that. I did this, whatever. Like, and I try to refrain from doing that, but that's the great thing about going to, therapy with
you. All about you.
Because they can't butt in on your conversation and be like, oh girl, I went through the same thing. Like, first of all, people don't self-disclose in that way, and not that soon. You're gonna have the floor to kind of just let it all out. And even if you decide not to go back, I really feel like that day, my first day of therapy, I can remember it vividly. Like I felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. I texted you guys after I went to therapy, and I was like, nah, I think I'm gonna really love therapy. Like my therapist is dope, cool as fuck. Like, and she didn't even do anything but just sit there and really listen. But no facial expressions, like no frowning. Like I just knew that there was no bias, there was no judgment. So I didn't feel totally comfortable, but I felt okay with saying what I needed to say and not feeling like she was gonna like be side-eyeing me at the next appointment. But again, that's why I also decided to go with a Black therapist, because I just feel like, we can relate more to what happens in our community. Like they may not understand, you know, a white, you know, therapist, whether it's male or female, may not understand like me growing up in a single parent home, or you know, the relationship that I have with my grandmother, or like my mom's gambling addiction, like drug abuse in my family from certain family members. Like they may not feel all of that. And I really feel like, because, you know, in white communities, because they're, you know, for the most part, middle to upper class, they are able to hide those things. They're able to send their family members to detox and rehab, and we don't have, like, those outlets aren't always available in our community for people. It's just like Jackie on drugs, like she ain't, you know, like a person come over for Christmas, like they may not get that. So
yeah, it's like it's like certain things to us that are our norms, like they take care of it right away, like bang, it's just done. You feel me? Like I feel that, like especially with substance abuse, it's just be like, he doing it again. Like we throw up our shoulders, but it's really something serious. But we don't have the opportunity to take care of things as well as other people do. You feel me? Where the way that we deal with things is just different. Like I'm prepared for whatever's gonna happen because I know that this is the routine. You are whatever drug you choose, you do it. You go to the rehab for the 5 days. You're done. You feel me? Then it's some time when you're good, and then you realize I know the routine, so it's like I'm already prepared. Like, right, like things are gonna be okay. But that's part of my mental health too. Like, if I pick up a routine, it's like, all right, I already know what you're gonna do. You feel me? Like there's not even a reason for me to explain what I'm gonna say because I know I've explained it before. So if I explain it again, I know how you're gonna respond. Like it's like that routine, and when you can observe somebody's routine, it's like you're kind of numb to it at that point. You know. All right. So this is a great conversation. I appreciate
it. Was.
I appreciate it, Paige.
Got into some things.
All right, we're gonna loosen up a little bit and get into that valid in 60 seconds segment. You feel me? Like,
man, are y'all both gonna answer?
No, I'm gonna let Paige. We got a segment called Valid in 60 seconds. We're gonna give you a this or that, right? So I'm gonna give you one of the questions I asked Shelby was 5'5" and above or 5'5" and under. Who you going for, right? You gotta just think on the top of your head. Who you going for? You dig what I'm saying? So you gotta think quick with it. You don't really got time to think, but who you siding with? It's this or that.
Okay.
Cool?
Okay.
You wanna see how we play first and then you get in?
I got this.
All right, bet. I'm gonna let Paige go first then.
Okay. Should I ask her?
Yes, indeed. I'll time it.
All right.
Let's see. Let's get that time. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Goofy or stick in the ass?
Goofy.
Pen or pencil?
Pencil.
Sneakers or slides?
Sneakers.
Jeans or leggings? You going a candle or a wax melter?
Candle.
Manny or petty? You gotta choose one.
Petty.
Do it on your own or get help?
Do it on my own.
Hard or soft?
Hard, always.
You ready for that one? You wanted that. You wanted to do that one.
Hard or soft?
She said hard.
Okay. Facts or cat?
Facts. No cat.
That's everything. Those are all my questions.
That time is up too. Let's get it. Woo. That's funny. That's for Shelby. You are Shelby's petty. Shelby's petty. All right, Shelby, me and you, or are you tired of me asking you questions because I'm petty?
You could ask me. I don't got no more questions for you. I might be able to think of some to ask you.
I bet. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Just right. 1, 2, 3, go. You going Gina or Pam?
Pam.
Martin or Will?
Martin.
You thinking too hard.
Martin.
Jada or Nia Long?
Nia Long.
You going to set it off or training day?
Ooh, set it off.
Kid or play?
I'm gonna go with kid.
Brandy or Monica?
Monica.
You going Schweppes or Canada Dry?
Schweppes.
Okay.
What? You going Guzzlers or Little Hugs? The juice. Look, I bet I respect it. You going potato sticks or the little 3D Doritos that used to be out back in the day?
The Doritos.
You going Gushers or Fruit Loops? I mean, Fruit Roll-Ups.
Gushers.
Oh, all right. You going Welch or Mott's?
Welch, nigga.
All right. Schweppes though, bro?
Yeah, I gotta go with Schweppes.
Y'all both drink Schweppes?
Yeah.
That's the only way.
Why? We keep Canada Dry in this house, so y'all got to stay far, far away.
Sound like dry. That shit go down real hard in your throat.
No, it do not. Schweppes is crazy.
It's like
That's Schweppes to me. Schweppes is like spicy in your throat. It make you talk like, ugh.
dry is harsh.
No.
Hey, I have to split this one in half. I only got a few.
What happened?
Think of a few, because I got a few.
Oh, wait, we got to do this again?
You gotta do it with me.
Oh, God. Okay, all right, you go ahead.
You tell me when you want me to start the time.
Okay, go ahead, start. You ready, Paige?
Yeah.
All right, go.
You want Target or Walmart?
Target.
CVS or Walgreens?
CVS.
Stop and Shop or Shaw's? Y'all don't got that in Connecticut.
I think I'm going Shaw's now.
Really? Okay, backwards or papers? You don't smoke, but backwards or papers?
I would have to say backwards.
You going shower or bath?
Shower all day.
You going passenger seat driver or driving?
Oh, I'm driving. I trust my own driving.
You pulling up or coming over? There is
there is a different. I think I'm gonna be like I'm pulling up. For sure. I'm pulling up, open the door. You dig? Go ahead. You got any, Paige?
Top or bottom?
Nigga. Top. Nah, keep going. I want to see what you got left because you started off hard. Okay? Hold them. What was that? Say it again.
Train.
Nigga, what she say?
Bus or train?
Oh, bus or train. I think I like the train. It's less, Boston.
Silver or gold?
Silver all day.
Young or old?
Oh, shit.
I can answer that for you. Young.
Yeah, I think I'm going young.
Okay.
I think right now. Janae Aiko or who?
Meg.
Oh, shit. I think Janae. I like her little, what she functionate, what she got going on.
Okay. The baby or Herbo?
Oh, the baby, because I think her. Okay, hold on. Time out. Pause. I have to explain this.
Pick one and just keep it moving.
Okay, I'll explain it later. Then the baby.
Okay. Fuck, I have another one. Invisible or able to, or the ability to read minds.
Oh shit! I think I'm going invisible because I don't really want to know what people think about me.
That's all I got.
All right, I just had to say, I just watched G Herbo's interview on Lip Service with Angela
Go ahead,
Yee.
Say something crazy about my man.
No, I absolutely enjoyed it. I loved everything he said. I've been rocking with him as a person, not as an artist, but as a person. Yeah, and so it's like I haven't been the most fan of his music, but that's just because I've never really listened to his music unless I'm riding with Shelby or something. You feel me? But like him as a person, I really like him as a person. Like everything he said in that interview.
Super gang.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal person. Like I feel like me and him could kick it. You feel me? Like play some 2K and just chill. Like, and it could be mad funny, but he he can have a conversation with you. You feel me? And I really like what he's doing for his girl. Like I just think that he's just a different man right now. You feel me? And I respect. Maybe just not a different man. He's just growing, and you could just see the growth that he's been through over time. So I fucks with it. I fucks with it. And the baby, I just like his music. I just listen to his music a lot more. So I just like him. I'm biased already.
All right.
Already. You feel me? But listen, y'all, you feel me? Thank you for tuning into the Valid Podcast. It's Valid TV all day. Vulnerability, accountability, leadership, intentionality, and demand. All aspects of life, and we always here to talk about it. Feel me?
Valid.
We'll see y'all in the next one. Thank you, Paige. And don't forget.
Thank you.
This is dope.
Next time we're going to have you in person. You feel me? We had to do it Corona style. You know, so next time we're gonna have to get you into this basement in person and just be vibing. You dig? But don't forget to send me all your info because we're gonna put that in the description below. And y'all don't forget to click on that shit. Like tune in to everything Paige does because she's dope. She's amazing, and y'all need to do that. All right?
Yeah, and y'all also need to subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Love you guys. Y'all dope. This is dope. Vulnerability, validity, and all of that other good stuff. Yep.
All right, y'all. We'll catch y'all on the next one.